Hey guys, my name is Alex West. I'm a salaryman VTuber. I'm also an official NGS content creator. And I know Line Strike's been out for a few days now. And a lot of people are still confused on how to build a good proper deck. So in this video, we'll pretty much talk about on how to build a good deck. Like this one over here, I call this deck the Pot of Greed because this deck is specialized on drawing a lot of cards, which is we have here Seraphy and Patty. And the key component of this deck is trying to get our key cards, which is Kalaris Christ the Clone, Kalaris Christ the Sixth Council, and Luther as well. These are absolutely key cards. And we also have some move cards as well, like Milafonsina and Kotori here as well. We also have some decent buffer cards, which is Cuna and Echo over here. And we also have our basic cards, which are our attack cards. I would say this is our Zeno cards over here. And also, same goes with another move card for our enemy, Cathedran, which is a nice value to have. So you might say, Alex, how can I have a good deck? What should I consider for a good deck? So let's say you want to build something. Let's say, let's go for an easy one first. Let's go with Mono Fire. So Fire has a unique ability we call United Front. So United Front, the more cards in play, the higher the attack it gets. So if you want to play this, this is absolutely good for mid game and late game. All right, so we want more cards that we can place in the field. That way it will buff our United Front. So the United Front cards are Zeno, we also have Kalaris Christ, and Huey over here. Because that's the only cards that I have right now for United Front. But there are more. Okay, so we always want to have to consider our low-cost cards. Okay, it's either Deg, if you have lots of Deg, sure, go for that. But for this demonstration, I'll just go with Ellison. So put at least 3 cards, 3 one-cost cards. That will definitely help you in the early game. The reason why you want to go for one cost card is for Overwrite Summon. Overwrite Summon is kind of like Tribute Summon in Yu-Gi-Oh! So instead of using 3 PP, you're just gonna use 2 PP because this one over here is 1 PP. Okay, that will save you a lot of PP. Definitely good. And also, one thing that you might want to consider is cards that can buff your United Front cards. So this one over here is High End. High End will be definitely one of the key components for your United Front deck because he has a +2/+1. And then of course, the next one is gonna be your Zenos, your United Front cards. Get as many Zeno as you can. If you have like 3 Zenos, yeah, sure, just put it in right away. Next one is you can go with Patty over here. Patty is a good one because she can draw cards absolutely really great. You can use her as Overwrite Summon material for our Kalaris Christ Clone or even Huey. And again, with draw cards, it will make easier for you to get all of your key cards in play. All right, so we get that over here. And then we put our buffer again. So again, we need more buff. So we put for Hitsugi. Hitsugi will be our another 4 cost. And then we put Kalaris Christ Clone because she is a United Front. Huey as well as United Front. And then we put Kalaris Christ. If you have another Huey or if you have another Kalaris Christ, yes, you can do that. Absolutely will help you in your deck. However, in my, let's say, in my status right now, right? I don't have another Kalaris Christ. I have a Huey. Yes, sure, that's a good one. But let's say you only have like 1 Huey, 1 Kalaris Christ. Alex, what can I do on that now? Right? So you can probably use any filler cards. Like, go for any filler cards that is a low cost. This one over here, it's absolutely nice. It's 2 cost. It has a good ability. It can move enemies. Next one is Cathedran. Cathedran is also a low cost card. It has a good attack, 13 attack, and pretty much can move enemies. Can play to your advantage. Absolutely good one. So, another way to do this, let's say, Alex, you have a double Huey, right? Yes, I have a double Huey. So instead, we can go something like this. I can have a single Hitsugi, go for Kalaris Christ, go for another Kalaris Christ, the Council of 6, Huey, and then I can put Cathedran over here. Or if you have double high end, yes, absolutely go for double high end. You can definitely need that one. Or you can definitely reduce Ellison if you want. Or if you have Deg, definitely Deg is also a good replacement for Ellison. So that's how you want to consider going for your deck. Always go, try to consider your core. The core of this deck is the United Front. The more cards in play, the higher their attack power. And also, what can pretty much is buff them as well for higher attack power. All right, next one is, you might say, Alex, I don't want United Front. I want to have a deck that is absolutely no-brainer. But the thing is, even though if your deck is a no-brainer, it makes it easier. However, yes, you might say, Alex, I don't want that. I want the buffer deck, right? So for the buffer deck, you always want to consider something that is a good early game approach, a mid game card that you can use as an interrupt, or something that you want to use for override summon materials. All right. So one thing I would say, if you are going for a debuff ice, try to match it with another element with good debuffs. Okay? One is, I would say, go for Ice and Dark. Ice and Dark is absolutely a good combination because Ice has a lot of debuff and Dark has a lot of debuff as well, right? So this is where people who wants to make a complicated deck. So one example I would always go is Hans. Hans has another combo. I would definitely would recommend use his combo card. Give me a second over here. His other combo card is gonna be Rida. Rida has a good debuff, but again, do not use them for early game. This is a good mid game. There are disruptor cards because it's gonna be a waste of their debuff. You might say, Alex, their debuff are not good. It's -1 and -2. Yes, it's -1 and -2. However, you can turn the game by using them as override summon. Remember, all of the debuff that you place on your enemy will stack. So, one way to evolve them is by using Io on your deck. You can use Cuna as well for override summon. You can probably also use Loti as well for override summon as well. So instead of wasting 3 PP, you're just gonna use 2 PP as well. Shiro also as another option for them. We also have Maria, an easy 4-cost summon instead of going for 5-cost. See, that's how you wanna save them for early game. However, you might say, Alex, so what's my approach for an early game debuffer Fire Ice? Okay, you might want to go for a no effect cards, like, or no skill cards, like Laviri. Laviri over here is a good 2-cost summon, and then pretty much it has 10 attack. Again, is very good for early game because once you place her, phase 2, you'll have 4 PP right away. 4 PP can translate to a lot of plays right away. You can pretty much use her for a override summon, so you can easily summon Maria for an early lane dominance, or you can probably use a buffer. Maybe you want to buff someone using where is it? Echo over here. And then you can place another card if you want to go for it. But we're not gonna do that. We're focusing on debuff, right? So let's go back here on our deck builder. So unfortunately, I don't have Rita, so we're just gonna place hands. What I said a while ago, we use Laviri. And another one you want to use for early game is also Cameron. Cameron and Cabrakan. Okay, Cabrakan has a good -2, -1, and also his partner over here, Camelot. It's -3, -2. These are the cards you might want to consider for early game, right? Because as you can see, based on their minus, they can definitely turn the tide of the game. And usually, early game cards usually have low attack value. As you can see, some of them are 10 over here. If you manage to land the -2, yeah, Cabrakan will be equal already. Same goes with Camelot. Camelot, on the other hand, is -3, so he will be on top, absolutely. So, yeah, they can equal low-cost cards. So I would say just put them as well on your deck. They can use as an interrupt mid-game as well. So you're not losing anything with them. Next is, now this is where you might want to consider two things, because in ice there is Tia over here, right? You got Tia, you got Otherly, and Io. I don't have Io, sorry, not Io. We got Loti. Let me show it here. I don't have Loti right now. So we got Loti. So you have three options. If you don't have Loti, right, like me right now, you just can go with Tia. You can never go wrong with Tia. The reason why, Tia gives you PP. And this is gonna be a good early game option as well for you. Now, we got good cards here, right? We need to balance this since we're not going for mono. We're not going for mono element. So instead, I'm gonna remove Laviri. Okay. And then we're going for Dark, because Dark is gonna be another one that we want to use for. So we want Nils. Nils, absolutely, like Hans. Don't use him early game, I would say. Use him on mid game as an interrupter. For early game, I would probably go for, because you need early game cards that you can place and pretty much use them as override summon. I know I've been saying override summon over and over again, but trust me, override summon will be your best friend, especially for debuff. So we're gonna use a good override summon. I guess this one over here, it's a -1. We can use them as, but I would say go with this one and this one. All right. Now we balance it. We got good cards for fire. We got good cards for ice as well. Because I don't have any good 3-cost cards for dark. Anyway, moving forward. Now, you might want to go for 4-cost, right? So for 4-cost, there's a lot of ways to do this. I can go for, definitely you want to go for Io. Io is absolutely really strong. If you have another Io, yes. But if you don't have another Io like me, I'll just go with a Shiro right here. Shiro will be a good substitute, and then you can go for a double Maria, a single Maria, double Maria, or probably double Cuna. Okay, it depends on you, whichever cards you have. I don't have a Cuna, so for now I'll just settle with double Maria. And then for dark, I can definitely look for a good debuffer card over here. If I don't have one, probably, yeah, well, I do have. I can go with Theodore, and I can't pronounce her name, but this one over here. All right, I would say this is a good debuffer deck with nice early game and pretty much a good interrupt. So you can test the water which one before you spend too much and waste PP. Again, this is just a guide. You can pretty much you can just follow it if you want, but if you wanna go for a different approach, that's totally fine. Okay, again, there's a lot of ways to build your deck, and I don't have a lot of cards. Let's say I don't want to go for this guy over here, because you might say, Alex, you're missing big cards for Dark. Yeah, absolutely, we can just replace this card with Dark Falls Elder, so we can have a 5 cost 30, which is absolutely out of mind. See? So again, there's a lot of ways. Let's say you want to build a move card. So now let's move on to move cards. Move cards are very interesting. All right, move cards. Now this is where things get more interesting. Okay, move cards are absolutely really gold. A lot of people say during day one, this is troll. I myself said that, oh, it's kind of trolly. But once you get the hang of it, it's absolutely really cool. One thing about move cards is they said that move target ally in the direction of arrow. By the way, you can use them, or you can use this card to move that specific card. Let's say Kotori. I want to move Kotori from left center to center mid. Right? I can just use I can just place her in right middle, and I can just summon her in right middle, and once the battle phase is gonna commence, it's gonna move my Kotori. What is your personal favorite element so far? I would say wind. I'm not gonna lie with you, I love wind cards. This is why I'm super excited to talk about move deck. All right, so if I'm gonna make a move deck, let's say a mono wind for now, okay, just mono wind, I would consider, of course, Henry. Henry is absolutely good. We can use him as an early game or even mid game, late game. He's an everywhere card, I would say. Henry is absolutely really good. We can use this guy as well. He can buff. There's also 1 cost summon, definitely nice to have. Of course, if we're gonna have move cards or we're gonna use wind, definitely you might want to have Seraphy. Okay, because Seraphy is a nice draw card. You can draw a card, you can get the card that you want early, and you can use her as an override summon material, especially for Kotori over here, Luther, and even Melefonsina. Okay, so that's why you might want to consider a lot of low cost cards. See, as you can see, I have lots of low cost cards now, right? And then of course, this word depends on you. Do you want to move yourself or you want to focus on moving the enemy? So for me, I want to focus more on moving my enemy rather than moving my cards, right? So if that's gonna be the case, I'll put a lot of Melefonsina. However, if I want to go for moving my cards, I'll go for Ulko over here. But let's say, Alex, I want to go for balance. So if you want to go for balance, it really depends on you. More double Melefonsina is going to be good. Or probably double Ulko will be good as well. Depends on what your taste. So if I'm going to go for balance, I'm going to go for double Melefonsina and a single Ulko. And then next is... if you have double Kotori, yes, go for double Kotori. Absolutely nice to have. Really good. You can also put Xiao. Xiao is a good card. However, you might also want to consider Echo as well. So probably gonna put them together. And then I'm gonna go with this one. Sherry. Sherry is a good card. Can combo with Luther as well. You can pretty much mess up your enemy with this. But that depends on you. But for now, since we're just going for mono mono wind, this is how I'm gonna do it, right? A lot of move cards. I can move my ally. I can still buff them a little for the early game, and draw cards early game, move my enemy, mess them up, and then buff my cards for mid game and late game, and then reverse them with Luther. Absolutely good. But you might say, Alex, I don't want to go mono, right? You don't want to go for mono. You want to go for a double element. So if I'm gonna go for double element, of course, I'll do my favorite deck. It's the Pot of Greed, or the Pot of Luther, I should call. So it will be like this: double Seri, double Patty. Okay? These cards right here can draw, so pretty much it's a good combination for I can get all of the key cards that I basically need. After that, I'll go for Xenos. Xenos are absolutely great to have because, again, this is United Front. You're going to have a lot of cards in play anyway, so get him. Next is we go for Wind again. Let's go back to Wind. I'm going to put one Melefoncina, and then I'll probably consider a debuffer, which is sure, why not? Or if you don't want to have a debuffer, maybe you want to help to move your cards. Sure, you can put Ulko is a good option, but for me, I want more to move my enemy. I want to focus moving my enemy, so we'll go for double Melefoncina, and then I will add Kotori over here. Absolutely great for swapping position for my own cards as well. Then let's go back to fire. For fire, I'll put Kalaris Christ. Definitely Kalaris Christ is a nice one to have because she is also a United Front. And then let's go back over here. If you want to go for another 4-star, that's fine. In my case, it really depends now. So do I want to concentrate moving my enemy cards? So I can go with Sherry. If you don't kind of like that, I can go with Echo. So that's totally fine as well. And then now we go for our 5 cards. So 5 cards will be Kalaris Christ, and then I can go for a double Luther over here. But again, in my playstyle, I want to consider moving my enemy all the time. So I can go with double Luther, or I can go with Catedran over here. It really depends now on your taste. So for me, I want to consider moving my enemy cards more in a much lower cost. Okay? So it really depends on your taste now. Or I can just remove Echo over here, and then I can go for a double Luther now. So it really depends on you. Again, depends on how you want to do it. Okay, let's go for one final example. Because one thing that we didn't talk about is buffing, right? Buffing, more like buff concentrate deck. So for a buff concentrate deck, we can go for right, absolutely. If you have lots of rights, sure. And then Rappy. By the way, Rappy, if you have Rappies, please use them. Because Rappies have a ability called Wildcard. You can use them as override summon with any element. There's another Wildcard, it's Nyao as well. So if you have Rappy and Nyao, absolutely put them on your deck. They are great low-cost summon for override. Alright, so this is what I'm going to go for. And then we need more 2 cost, I would say. No, we're gonna reduce right. And then go with this. Of course, we're gonna have Marlu. We're gonna buff ourselves, definitely. This one, 3 cost. We need a lot of 4 cost. I would say Matoy would be really great for this deck. Definitely some move cards so we can move our enemy. A nice base guard as well will be really great. This will be a nice game changer. And a Matoy. Yeah, I'm pretty much missing another 5 card. If you have another Matoy, or if you have Mother, definitely put them. Right? So, usually, in terms of 5 cost cards, okay, you might want to have at least, you can see all of my builds, right? I don't really concentrate to a lot of 5 costs. Usually my 5 cost is like 4 pieces, 4 pieces, or even 2 pieces only. Just like on my deck over here, the Pot of Greed, right? I only have like 2 5 cost summons over here. Because the reason that for that is because I want to consider going for early game, and I don't want to skip. Skipping turns is good for phase 1, sure, why not? But if you skip too much, that's where you're gonna cost the game. Alright, so that's pretty much it, guys. So if you wanna make a deck on your own, sure, don't worry. What we're doing here right now is just a guide for you to pretty much build a deck. Okay, there's a lot of ways to build one. Enjoy, have fun. By the end of the day, Line Strike is, enjoy the game and have fun. Okay, and that's pretty much it. And my name is Alex West, and I'll see you guys on my next video. GG, everyone.